Hey everybody, and welcome to the next edition of the Soccer Fitness Goals video blog. This week I'm going to keep it brief. I've got a complaint, and in my opinion, something which is holding us back as a nation in Canadian soccer, and it has to do with something that I noticed this week when my Netflix account wasn't working, and because it wasn't working, I ended up just watching regular TV, cable TV, TSN, which I honestly hadn't looked at in a long time, and this was in the morning. I ended up catching an episode of Sports Center from 10:30 to 11 o'clock in the morning. And again, I hadn't seen this in a while, but what I ended up seeing in this 30-minute episode gave me what is, in my opinion, a clear indication of a problem that needs to be fixed if we expect to be better as a nation in soccer. So what did I notice on Sports Center that was such a problem? Well, let's play a game. Try to guess, of the 30-minute time period that episode was on, how much of that 30 minutes was devoted to talking about Toronto's only professional soccer club, that's Toronto FC, and also the most successful soccer club in Major League Soccer this year. How much of that 30 minutes do you think they spent on Sports Center talking about Toronto FC? Not sure? Well, unfortunately, the answer is 30 seconds at the end of the 30-minute time period. That's the only time of the whole show that was devoted to talking about Toronto's only professional soccer club and the most successful soccer club in the league this year. Why is this such a problem? Well, today is Wednesday, October 4th, and at this time of year, the only other sports that are happening are the CFL in football and Major League Baseball. Now, we've got teams that are competing in those leagues. In Major League Baseball, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays, but they've had an unsuccessful season, and so they're not qualified for the postseason, so they're not playing right now. The Toronto Argonauts are playing in their season, but they haven't done really well, so there's not a lot to talk about there. The NHL season hasn't started yet, which means the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't doing anything other than exhibition games right now. And the NBA season hasn't started yet, which means that the Toronto Raptors aren't doing anything right now. So that being said, Toronto FC, as I mentioned earlier, has been the most successful club in Major League Soccer this year. So successful, in fact, that this past Saturday, September 30th, when they won their match against the New York Red Bulls by a score of 4-2, they clinched the club's first ever Supporters Shield, which is the trophy that's given to the club in Major League Soccer that has the best record for the season. And they've clinched that with 2 games to spare. This is by far the most successful season that Toronto FC has ever had, and they did it in front of a packed house at BMO Stadium. I was there for the game. There were almost 30,000 people at that game, which shows you that not only is the team successful, but that there's a lot of people in Toronto that are supporting soccer, that are watching soccer, and that are willing to get behind the team. So all that being said, how is it possible that TSN, the sports network, which is broadcasting out of Toronto, is giving literally almost zero attention to the only successful sports team in Toronto right now and the best club in Major League Soccer? It's inexcusable. To me, this represents a problem with our media, whereby regardless of how successful clubs are in Toronto or in other cities in Canada, and also regardless of the overall popularity, and by that I mean the fact that almost 30,000 people are coming out to watch the games. So regardless of those factors, the media is still, unfortunately, ignoring soccer, not putting any highlights, not interviewing the coaches, not talking to the players, not discussing things with the fans ahead of the upcoming playoff games, none of it. So they're completely ignoring the sport, and unfortunately, this is going to lead to us as a nation not being able to reach our full potential, especially on the men's side. Young kids in other countries, they grow up at first supporting the professional soccer clubs from the local area in which they live, from the towns, from the cities that they live in. They may also support bigger clubs and even international clubs from other countries, like the big clubs in Spain, Barcelona, Real Madrid, clubs in Italy or England. But first, they grow up supporting their own club. And part of the reason why they're supporters is because the clubs are given very extensive coverage in the media. So little kids and also adults that are watching, they're very well aware and they're very well informed. And that is one of the contributing factors that helps young players develop into top players, and that also makes the game at the professional level much more sustainable. So if the media here in Canada, and that means that the sports networks, TSN and Sportsnet, if they don't do a better job of covering professional soccer, local soccer here, including Toronto FC, we are not going to reach our full potential developing players. So what can be done about this problem? Well, I'm going to urge you, as I'm doing, to start making your voice heard. Start getting yourself on social media. Call out our local sports networks like TSN and Sportsnet. Start calling for more attention in the media to be given to Toronto's only professional soccer club, and again, the most successful soccer club in the league, Toronto FC. If we get more media attention, it will help us to develop better soccer players. So that's it for the Soccer Fitness Goals video blog for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you haven't already done so, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can do that by clicking the link underneath me right now. Also, if you'd like to download the world's only customizable soccer-specific mobile fitness app available on Apple and Android platforms, that's our Soccer Fitness Goals mobile fitness app. You can do so by clicking the link underneath me right now. We'll see you next week on the blog, and until then, keep reaching your soccer fitness goals.